But if your plan is I'm willing to commit to this for 5 years, then that's the plan and go execute on that plan. But that's going to change the numbers a little bit, because if you want to move out after year one, we need to make sure the numbers and the rents can cover your mortgage after year one. But if you're willing to commit to it for 5 years, that's a little bit of a different story. So everybody's situation is different and unique, but come up with like, what is your crystal clear criteria? What is your goal with this property? And get very, very clear on that. And then, like I said, just go execute on it.
Yeah, absolutely. With you having said that and being very clear on your plan and your goals and everything, obviously that entails you have to be a landlord. So as your first experience with being a first-time landlord, what were some of the biggest takeaways that you got from that?
Yeah. For me personally, I think it's just it's easier than you might think. Like, it's really easy to get caught up in the, oh, what if this, what if that, what if this? A lot of the time the what ifs never happen. Like, just send it. Like, just do it. Like, just do it. It's really not that bad. I'm very picky with my tenants. I screen well, I do background check, credit check. So, and hopefully that doesn't change, but I've had really, really good experiences with all of my tenants. They've all been phenomenal. Haven't had any horror stories. They all pay on time. They all get their security deposit back because they take care of the property. So you need to be careful, but I would just say it's really not as hard or scary as you might think it is.
Yeah, because we always hear the stories about like, oh, my uncle had a property back in, the 80s or 90s or whatever, and he had to evict like 4 hobos that were living in there or something. Yeah, and you always hear these crazy stories, but with what we do at the HomeLord system, it's teaching people that you can avoid those in most situations, and it's not the norm. Like, you don't have to find those things all the time if you have the right game plan and if you have, the knowledge basis behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, and I touch on that too. So in my background, primarily property management, like I've managed over 500 rentals, and you're absolutely right. Like, people obsess over stories they've heard, but the reality is as long as you do the best you can with some systems and knowledge, the probability of those things actually happening are quite low.
Right.
But let's dive more into your story, because you're a wholesaler, and a lot of people don't know what that is. So for those that haven't heard that term, could you briefly explain what a wholesaler does?
Yeah, absolutely. So wholesaling is when you get a property under contract. Typically it's off market, and you get it under contract at a certain price, and then you find somebody else to buy it for more. And so you assign your contract over to them, and you make what's called an assignment fee. That's basically the gist of it.
Okay, got it. So it's like, I have this drink, and then you agree to buy it for me for $2, and then you find someone who's willing to buy it for like $2.50, and you make that difference between the two.
Yep,
the spread
exactly.
between it.
Yep.
Okay, and when did you get into wholesaling for the first time?
Let's see. I worked for a wholesale company for 5 years, and we were doing 150 to 200 deals a year. I started that in 2020, and then just quit.
What a crazy
year,
time to even get into real estate.
Oh, I know.
Right? During COVID, when everyone was like freaking out on what was going to happen.
Yeah. So technically, I think it was like December of 2019. And then I quit last May. So this week is my year mark of, being on my own. So.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yep. And I got licensed in like 2018. So a couple years before I started working for that wholesale company.
Okay. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Trying to think of a good wholesaling question for you.